One. Got it. All right, we're going live. We're going live.
Got it.
I'm going to trust the system. I'm going to trust it's going to work for us. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tim Black. Welcome back to the Tim Black Show. Today, I have a very, very, very special, most important guest. That would be me who did that. The guy who's supposed to do this for a living. All right, one more time. My name is Tim Black. Welcome back to the show, guys. I'm glad you're here. I did that on purpose just to give you time to notice a live stream. Check this out. Today we got a very important show because we got three guests with us that are doing the thing that we need to do in order for us to get the goals we're trying to reach, folks. I have members of the Green Party who are responsible, especially one of these guys, responsible, their duty, their object is to get Dr. Cornel West on the ballot in 50 states. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome Justin and Rick. Give it up for my people.
All right. Hi, everybody.
There's a cheer going on. I don't know if you guys can hear, but I got a thing cheer. There we go.
Love
Justin
it.
and Rick, what's up, guys? How are you?
Doing well, Tim.
Doing great.
Thanks for having us.
That's what's up, man. We live in the dream. The dream work makes the team work. The teamwork makes the dream work. Wow. All right, let's just give people a brief introduction, guys, if you don't mind. Let's start with Justin, since he's up top. Justin, man, what's up?
Yeah.
What do you do for the Green Party, and how can you be a part of this? What's your part in this?
Yeah. So, thank you, Tim. Again, I'm so glad that I reached out to you and you said, "Hey, this sounds like something important to have on the show." So I come from the Bernie Sanders campaign in 2015, 2016, right? That really got me excited about getting into politics, right? And I was actually a national level delegate from Maine. I live here in Portland, Maine. And after they pulled the nomination from Bernie out from under his feet, and a bunch of us left, the convention center, and I wish all of my fellow Bernie delegates had kept walking with me. I went on to help out the Green Party. I saw Jill Stein actually at that convention and helped on her campaign. And then I joined the Maine Green Party, been involved at the national level, also at the state and local level here with the Green Party in Maine.
Mm-hmm.
And
wow,
what an opportunity here with Dr. Cornel West. Is something I've been dreaming of, something, the kind of big ticket name we need running for office to really inspire people. It's a coming together of a vision that Cornel has with the platform that the Green Party has, fighting for reparations, Medicare for all, living wages. So it's all there, and we're bringing people together. It's a great thing. So glad to be here and talk about ballot access with you, Tim.
Absolutely.
And, yeah.
Man, great introduction, Justin, man. I appreciate that, man. That's, while I was there, I know exactly what you're talking about. I was there in Philly at the DNC, man. I didn't go inside. I was outside, and I went right. I told everyone, I don't know if you came to some of the rallies afterwards. I was there at a couple rallies with Lee Camp, and yeah, man.
It was such a crazy thing.
It was crazy. It was crazy, man. Thank you so much for joining us. And next, we got my brother, Rick. Rick, tell us a little bit about your spiel, man. What brings you with the Green Party, and how do you work with this process?
Yeah. Great. Well, again, thanks for being here. Thanks to you and for all your audience for being supporters of Cornel West. My story is I got involved almost on a whim 30 years ago when I ran into an old college buddy, and he was working on a Green Party campaign, and I asked him how I could help, and he had me knocking on doors the very next morning. He was that good of an organizer, and I've been involved since. My role is the ballot access director for the Cornel West campaign. My goal is to get Cornel on the ballot in every state, as you mentioned. I did this in 2016 for Jill Stein's campaign, and we had a historic 45 state ballot lines plus 3 states we were right in. The best the Greens had ever done, and I think we can top it this time because we're getting a nice early start. We're already actively petitioning in 9 states, and I got involved really not just on a whim. I sort of tongue in cheek, but the two-party system's been broken for a long time, and I knew it 30 years ago. A lot of people have known it for a long time, and I think Cornel West campaign can really get people to vote who've never voted before. who are burned out or never were involved. And I think Cornell is going to inspire a whole lot of people to get involved this time. And I sure hope that comes to pass.
Amazing, brother. That's what I'm talking about. This is fantastic. I got these guys here. Rick's the guy, the ballot access director, man. That's the guy right there that we need to be sending. You like bagels? I don't know what we got to send you, man.
Bagels work, absolutely.
Bagels, all right. Bagels and coffee. Something to keep you up, burning the midnight oil or whatever they call it, man, to keep you working, man. Because
that's right.
We need this guy. So, folks, all the people out there that are asking questions like that, guys, like. People are excited, right? And I got a group of people that just finding out about the campaign. People just finding out about Dr. Cornel West, believe it or not. And then we got people that have been in this process, man. These people are, they've been trying to fight against the system for years, like you guys, like you just explained, Rick. And they want to know what's behind the hood, right? They're like, okay, I've been excited before. Tell me how we gonna get from point A to point B. And tell me more. So that's why this is so important. So for all my people watching, guys, this is where we find out how we get it done, because it's great to have energy, right? As Justin was saying to me offline, he was like, yo, a lot of people in the comment section saying they're going to vote for Cornel. We got to make sure you can vote for Dr. Cornel West. So this is how the can gets done, so that we're not holding it back when election time comes. So share this out to everybody. Put it on your social media. Let the world know. Right now is a good time. If you got Twitter, hashtag Cornel West. He's trending on Twitter just as I went live. So more people, more eyeballs on this. Most people are tired of the system. Remember, half of Americans don't vote. Of the half that does, a large percent of those people are unhappy. They're voting the lesser of two evils, right? So there are people very susceptible to our message. So let's start. These guys are great guys. You don't know. Rick and Justin gave me notes, man. I never get notes from guests. I just kind of go with it. But I think organizing is nice. So a general introduction about ballot access. So Rick's past experience. So Rick, tell us, man, how does this process overall, generally speaking, how does it work without, sedating people as they listen?
Well, I'll do my best. Some of it gets pretty in the weeds, as they say, but the Democrats and Republicans, they get on the ballot every year in every state, but the Green Party, the Libertarian Party, all the other parties have to petition. So every state's different. In some states, we only need 1,000 signatures, we're on the ballot, but in the majority of states, and we're working in 33 states that we need to get ballot access on, we need to get a certain number of petition signatures. So we are looking at people that will help us out. We've made the petition available on our website. We've got state leaders in the states we're working. We're actively working in 9. And there's 13 states, they won't even let us start till next year. Some states, you have 6 weeks. New York State, you have 6 weeks to get 45,000 signatures. It's just, I think of ballot access suppression, I call it, all this work that we have to do. Is voter suppression. It's, if you only have 2 choices to vote for, how likely are you to go vote if you don't support either one? Unless you have a deep felt, passion for democracy, you're not even going to vote because no one represents you. So the powers that be, and it's all state by state, make us go through all these hoops to get on the ballot. And in 2016, we spent almost $500,000 just to get on the ballot in 45 states, and it'll be more now. So that's sort of the basics of it. Is they make us go to all this trouble. Some states, they like literally check every signature against the signature that they have on file. So you might have registered to vote when you were 18 and now you're 50, and is your signature the same? Or, you might have been on your way to a movie and someone asked you to sign a petition and you sign it. Is that going to be the same way you signed it when you're in a government office being watched? So I could
Excellent.
go on and on about some of the stupid rules that they force us to go through.
That's an excellent point, man. And that really puts context, behind some of the scuffles and the fights, the legal battles, and some of the things we've heard people say over the years about elections. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what he just said here, folks, I think is so important. Ballot access, petition signatures. So anybody with fire in their soul, anybody with a passion for this candidacy can get involved. Like, you don't need a permission slip from your teacher, man. If you feel this, if you're saying, yo, especially because I got people that are really like ready. Tim Black, yes, we love it. Tim Black hashtag, we with you, Tim. It's a new day, and they're putting that. Okay, let's put some work in the real world on this, and you can make this happen. You will be a part of the reason why it's on the ballot in your state. Is that what you're saying, Rick?
That's right. And we need all hands on deck because we want to be on in every state. If you want to be able to vote for Cornel West, you need to do what you can to make sure he's on the ballot in your state. Because if we don't get to work, he's not going to be.
Yeah, because I know that's. Go ahead, Justin. Go ahead, man. Sure.
Yeah, yeah, I've done a lot of petitioning and ballot access work in Maine, and that's exactly one of the things I tell people. It's like when you see in Maine, it was Lisa Savage. We were getting her on the ballot here, running for Senate against Susan Collins and Sarah Gideon. And I was like, when you see Lisa's name on the ballot, you'll know that you were part of that, right? And it's important, and it doesn't take much effort to sign your name to a petition. In Maryland, actually, where you're at, Tim, have you signed a petition yet to get Cornel on the ballot?
I have not.
Well, we need to get you a petition so you can sign it, and maybe even get you your own petition. You can get out and get 5 to 10 other people to sign it, right? Relying on relational organizing. And so, I mean, this is exactly why we're doing this. We want you to know, personally in Maryland, and then all these other states where we have access or, ballot access efforts underway. People just need to know about it, and they'll go out and do it. So
well, let me ask you one question real quick before you move on. So I voted for Joe Stein before in Maryland, just for the record, guys. 2016, that's who I voted for.
Right.
I actually filmed it. It's like a big deal. My oldest son's first time voting. We documented the whole thing for the crew, for the channel. And since the Green Party was on the ballot back in 2016, that doesn't necessarily mean they're on the ballot in 2024.
That's right.
Rick, can you answer that?
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. In every state, you have different requirements. So we get on the ballot in Alabama. If you don't get 20% of the vote, they take you off the ballot, and you have to petition again for the next election. And state after state is like that. Some aren't nearly as onerous. There's about 15 to 20 states that it's fairly straightforward. Once you're on for a prolonged period. But no, in New Mexico in 2020, we fell 196 votes short of staying on the ballot, and then had to go out and get 5,000 petition signatures. Every state is different, and in the majority of states, we have to petition every time. That's why this is so unfair, frankly. It's not really a democracy. I mentioned earlier that one of the, that if people only have 2 choices that they don't really like, and someone on our campaign team's from Slovakia, and she said, oh, that's only one more choice than we had my entire youth growing up. Because they had a ballot with 1 presidential candidate on it, and we have 2. How much more democratic is that?
Wow.
Another thing too is what was I going to say now? I think I kind of lost it. On top of all this, there's like lawsuits and where the Green Party's gotten kicked off the ballot, and we have to fight sometimes. So a good example of that is in North Carolina, 2022, Matthew Ho's U.S. Senate campaign, right? He got the signatures to get on the ballot. The State Board of Elections tried to basically throw out a bunch of those signatures, and essentially tried to throw out all of the signatures. Luckily, we had a great lawyer that was able to represent the campaign and fought back against the Board of Elections. And now, because of Matt Ho running for U.S. Senate in 2022 in North Carolina, we actually have ballot access in 2024. So this is how it gets done. It's tough, but this is how we fight for democracy.
And if I can add to that, in North Carolina during that court case, the Democratic Party machine was calling people who signed the petition and asking them to remove their name. And they were literally going door to door and making phone calls saying, do you realize you're going to spoil this election because you signed a petition for a Green Party candidate? And it's just like, we expect that sort of, I don't know what to call it on a family oriented show, but we expect that sort of activity again on this election. So we're really making sure we train our petitioners well to make sure they're explaining exactly what people are signing. And hopefully it won't come to that, but all indications are that it will.
I recall hearing that. I remember reporting on such incidents, man, back, I think maybe 2020. No, it's 2016. I think it was 2016 when we were reporting on that.
Yeah.
A lot of election irregularities is what they called it. That's what they called it.
That's right.
As in cheating, suppressing, voter suppression, as you put it, is the exact term for it. So discuss some of the challenges states, some of the attempts of the duopoly to exclude. That's kind of where we're at now. Some of the tricks they do is throwing you off the ballot. Oh, you guys didn't get enough people so now you got to start over. And so where does this exorbitant amount of money come from? What are these fees you got to pay? Where's that part coming in?
Well, that's in about 10 states you have to pay a fee, and most of them are fairly reasonable. But in Oklahoma, where we've never been on the ballot before, they passed a law that instead of petitioning, we can pay $35,000 for the privilege of being on their ballot, which is a lot less than it would cost us to petition, because they require 40,000 signatures to get on the ballot. So, it's just ridiculous, but it's probably the way we'll end up going.
Wow, you could just buy access. So the whole idea that they're doing this for some other type of reason, for transparency or whatever, it's obviously rigged, because you could just pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can either go through, you can either spread the word with the people and prove that the people have an appetite for your type of politics, or you can just give us money and then we don't care what, anything about that. So,
and $35,000 is nothing. I just was reading about a fundraiser for Rudy Giuliani that's $100,000 a plate dinner that is being hosted this week to raise money for his legal defense. I wonder what's on that plate for $100,000, but think of what $35,000 is for a small campaign like the West campaign compared to the major parties. That's just a drop in the bucket for them. So it's clearly designed to keep the small guys off the ballot.
And you look at the No Labels Party, they're spending, I don't know how much money to get on the ballot, right? They're paying for their ballot access for sure. Whereas Cornel West campaign, it's going to be a lot of volunteers spending time out there doing the hard work. It's because it's grassroots.
Yep. It's grassroots. It's going to be a lot of small donations, and it'll add up. It'll be great. If you can afford it, if you're interested, you can definitely go to Cornel's website, cornelwest24.org, and make a donation, and we will put it to good use, getting people out on the streets, gathering signatures, paying exorbitant filing fees, and other things like that.
I guess it really clears it up in your head about these people talking about spoilers. Well, there's a spoiler before the election even starts, and that's getting ballot access. No one's talking about that. I heard watching the clip of Cornel West, we were talking about Dr. West, we were talking about it earlier on Meet the Press, and that's all the questions centered around, you're spoiling it for the Democrats, as if the Democrats own our votes, as if we're, mandated to vote for Joe Biden. And no talk at all about this process that's grueling. It seems undemocratic. It's a shakedown, is what it looks like. And it's just to discourage you. That's it.
Yep.
And any candidate running, this is the Green Party. What if you're just a person who wants to run as an independent? How could you ever get on the ballot?
Well, that's a whole other thing. It's a lot harder to run for independent than you think. And, the idea of, like, say, an RFK Jr. running as an independent, doing the dirty break, right? And I advocated a long time for high profile candidates like Bernie in 2020 or Tulsi Gabbard in 2020. They should have done the dirty break in December. Then they would have had a chance to get on the ballot as an independent. And it can be done, right? If Bernie Sanders raised enough money, he could do it, right? But, you have to have a really well-oiled organization, which Bernie did have, right? And Tulsi probably could have done it too. But, there's also, while we're talking about getting Cornel West on the ballot, there's a little bit more nuance to this conversation, because in some states, we're actually getting the Green Party on the ballot the whole Green Party, and we can run all the candidates we want. In other states, we're getting just Cornel on the ballot. In other states, not as a Green Party candidate necessarily, sometimes as an independent. It's because we are a minor party. It's a little complicated, a little nuanced. Don't want to get into the weeds on it, but just to say, it's not as straightforward as you think. But the best way to get involved is to really talk with Green Party folks or Cornel West campaign folks that are in the states to find out what's going on there, what the action is. And, it might be a good time to pull up that map and start talking about, what's actually going on in the different states right now. Rick mentioned that we have 9 states we're petitioning in, but also there's some other states you could do. You could just register as a Green Party member in Massachusetts and in Delaware, and you can help Cornel get on the ballot there. So you don't even need to sign a petition sometimes or circulate a petition. There are other ways of getting on the ballot. But I don't know. Rick, what do you think? Should we talk about the map now?
Yeah, we could.
You should be seeing the map there.
I really want to emphasize, especially in Delaware, Massachusetts. All right, there's our ballot access map. And the orange states are where we're actively petitioning. Utah is about to turn orange. We just got approval from the Secretary of State to circulate our petition, which is yet another hump we didn't talk about. That in a lot of states, you have to make sure you have an officially approved ballot petition to circulate. And one of the things I wanted to piggyback on, Justin, in California and other states, we're actually looking for endorsements from multiple parties. In California, we want to be on the Peace and Freedom Party ballot line and the Green Party ballot line. One of Cornel's goals is to build a multi-party coalition of the left. And in California, the Peace and Freedom and Green Party have been working together the last couple of election cycles to not run in the same race against each other, but to be more selective so that we can amass better vote totals. And there's a couple other states that have multiple parties, and there's some states that don't have a party line, Green Party ballot yet. And as Justin said, we're just going to get Cornel on the ballot, and then we can build from there.
Hey, Rick, can you talk about Vermont? Because that's kind of cool.
Yeah, Vermont.
But hold on, before you do that, Rick, go real quickly for people, just give them an overview of what the colors mean. I know you said orange means they're on the ballot, right?
Orange means we're actively petitioning there.
Actively petitioning, okay.
And
orange.
Gray means that we're on the ballot there. Oh, no, it doesn't.
No, light green.
Light green means we're on the ballot. Gray means we can't start till the 1st of 2024. So those are states where we have to wait, and we're just doing organizing work. We're finding regional coordinators. We have a pledge to sign form that we've put out on our website. So if you're in one of the states that can't start, you can fill out a form saying, yes, contact me when you start and I'll sign, and bonus, I'll circulate the petition. So let's see. And then dark green means we can start petitioning there, but we haven't yet started because we're still in the organizing stages. So the flashing orange is the states where we're putting the majority of our energy right now to get those petition signatures. So if you're in one of those flashing states, please go to the cornelwest24.org and sign up to volunteer, and we'll get in touch with you so you can help out, or just fill out that pledge to sign form and someone will get in touch with you. So yeah,
got it.
That's the map, and we hope to turn the whole thing light green in the next 10 months or so. Every state's got a different deadline, and Missouri's going gangbusters. They started before Cornel even announced. They were out petitioning for their state party line with the Green Party, and Maryland started right around the same time. Vermont and Delaware are 2 unique cases. So let me just quickly. Vermont,
Massachusetts and Delaware.
Okay,
I'll let you go, Rick. Sorry, go ahead.
Vermont and Massachusetts can get on the ballot by getting a certain number of registered voters. Now I've got it. Now I'm discombobulated. Delaware and Massachusetts can get on by just having a certain number of registered Greens. So if you're in one of those 2 states, the best thing you can do in Massachusetts is known as the Green Rainbow Party. and you can register Green Rainbow. And if we get 50,000 people registered in Massachusetts, we automatically, not that it's automatic, but we automatically get a ballot line. And in Delaware, it's only about a little under 1,000 registered voters. And we think that one is the most likely. Vermont is really strange because all you have to do is be an organized party. So in the month of September, you have to have local meetings in 10 different towns and get 3 people to sign up that they're the officers of those towns. And we're really pushing for that this September. And we're not doing it for the Green Party, we're doing it for the Green Mountain Peace and Justice Party. So if you're in Vermont, go to your town hall on September 10th at 7 o'clock, and there'll be people there helping you sign up.
Yeah.
And if we don't make it on September 10th, we've got a 3-week window to reschedule and do it again. But the Peace and Justice Party in Vermont succeeded in this every year since 1970. And actually in 1970, Bernie Sanders was their candidate for governor. So they have a long history of getting on the ballot, and they're very supportive of Cornel's campaign. So yeah, that's the map. Those are some of the states we're working on.
Wow. How many people did you need? You said in Massachusetts. What was the number again?
It's just under 50,000 registered.
50,000. That sounds like a lot, because you said
it is a
wow,
lot.
Yeah, because Delaware, you said 1,000, then you said 50,000. Wow, okay.
Yeah,
Well, a lot more people in Massachusetts, and in Maine we have 40,000 registered Greens. So we have a lot less people in Maine. So it can be done. It's just the people have to know about this, right? And what it takes to get Cornel on the ballot. And it's not hard. In Massachusetts too, you can re-register to vote as a Green Rainbow Party member online. It's easy. You go to the Secretary of State's website, and maybe we can find that to share with the video, like in the comments,
Sure.
a link of where you can go to the Massachusetts Secretary of State website and re-register as a Green Rainbow Party member. So some of your viewers that are there in Massachusetts, it's pretty easy to do. And a lot of people like to think of themselves as being independent, and I don't want to join a party, but it's not as bad as you think. I mean, I was once a Democrat. I'm so glad I left the Democratic Party, and now with the Greens. So it's a good. A lot of people feel homeless, politically homeless these days. A lot of people are homeless these days too. But there is a party. I feel that the Green Party is one of those parties that really speaks to people's needs, and it can provide that political home for people that have been really dissatisfied with the two-party system. So,
yeah, I like to stress to people that you hear the pushback from mainstream media that are telling us, like, if you vote green, you're basically voting red, which is crazy to say, because no, I voted green. That's who I voted for. I want people to recognize that it's as much work as it does require. We can't just wait for them to give us the access. Like, we can't wait around for them to say, okay, we want to change the system that's beneficial to them, right? So until that time comes, we got to do what we got to do in order to get access, because they're not just going to give it to us. If they were going to give it to us, they would have already done it. They would have already given it to us. So I think we got to fight for it. We got to get in the mindset that this is important. This is worth doing. And this, like I said before, it's great to have passion, but we got to put some works in order for the passion to materialize.
Well, in just about every other country in the world, in Europe and Latin America, when you go to vote, you have 7-9 different candidates and parties to vote for, and they all get a percentage, and then they have to form their coalition governments. But in Mexico, if the Greens get 10% of the vote, we get 10% of the seats in the Congreso, right? Same thing in Germany. We get 15% of the seats there. We get 15 seats in, what do they call it, the Bundestag, I think, something like that. My German's not too good. But in America, if we get 15%, we get blamed for costing someone else the election. So it's a systematic problem. And what I've been saying for years is we have to play by the rules until we have enough power to change them. And once we do, we'll be able to change them. And there's been some incremental improvements, but still, to have to do these ballot access drives every time, to have candidates that get a significant portion of their votes, and then get nothing to show for it. I mean, we need to move to proportional representation and ranked choice voting as soon as humanly possible. And that's the other thing, when we briefly mentioned the spoiler, if Democrats are so scared about Cornel West spoiling the election and stealing their votes, they have a simple solution. It's called ranked choice voting.
There it is.
We've been introducing it for over 30 years as the way to solve the spoiler problem, and they would rather just call us names and make us go away and put up incredible hurdles for us to participate in elections. Sorry about my dogs. The neighbors' cows have come to visit, so they're a little upset. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, every time you folks see an article that says the Greens are going to spoil the election for the Democrats, write a letter to the editor and call your state representative and say, if you're really that scared, pass ranked choice voting in the next legislative session before the next election, and then we won't have that problem. It's in your hands. You can do it. In so many of the states, the Democrats have control of the legislature, and they could do it in a matter of weeks if they really had the will to do it.
In Maine, we got ranked choice voting here because we ran candidates and scared them, right? It was our political pressure by running Greens for governor, for Senate. We pushed really hard here in Maine to get those people on the ballot, and it scared them. And I think eventually they're like, we got to do this ranked choice voting thing, right? So this threat, it really can make good changes. Good changes can come out of this for Cornel's run. And also, I want to mention at this point too, it's not just about Cornel getting on the ballot. In some of these states, we have the opportunity, once we get ballot access, to run candidates for House and Senate.
Yes.
And it's not just about Cornel running. We want to get a slate of people in there to Congress to back him once he's elected. So, because that's another thing. They're like, oh, you get Cornel elected, he's got to fight against Congress. Well, why don't we put in a bunch of Greens to work with him, right? So I think that's going to be another big push in this campaign, is to get some down ticket candidates, and not just running for federal level races, but also for state level races and municipal races. In Maine, we've got, 40,000 registered Greens. We have over 50 people, probably closer to 100 people that are serving in local offices in Maine. Some of them we don't even know about. We just need more people that are willing to run. And this can be a really transitional election cycle here. Cornel is the person to lead us there. It's really, really fantastic.
Yeah, that's kind of the note I was going to take, Justin, is people got to realize, because I know I got some people out there that are, they're losing a little bit of winning their sales a little bit after listening to the process, and maybe you see it as daunting. And I agree, it is kind of daunting, but look at it this way. This is one of those elections that they talk about when they say, oh, the most important election of our lives. Well, this, I think, is the most vulnerable this system has been to this type of activity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Come on, Trump and Biden, the oldest president on record, who's basically, governing by proxy. I don't know I don't know who's running it. I don't feel secure that Joe Biden's making decisions, and I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, because up to this point, his decisions weren't good anyway, right?
Yep.
And then we got Trump, a guy indicted 4 times. Whether you say those should be indicted or not, like that's another conversation for another day. The point is, he got those. Yep. He's got those. So it's like, come on now. If there's ever going to be a time that people go, hey man, is there anything else out there? It would be right now. And remember, my man Rick got Jill Stein on the ballot without Cornel West's name last time.
Yes.
Remember that now. Don't get me wrong. I interviewed Jill Stein like 3 times. Dr. Jill interviewed her 3 times. Ajama Baraka 3 times. So I'm not new to the Green Party. I got a lot of love for him. I was gonna put on my Green Party shirt, but it's a little tight because it was 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
A couple cheeseburgers ago. You know what I'm saying? But hey. All right. The point is, folks. The point is, before you go, the point is, I want you guys to be pumped up about this. This is very doable. Remember, there's a lot of people who are looking at this the same way you are. They're just as frustrated. And I would also want to encourage some of my people to become activists. You don't have to be Fred Hampton tomorrow, but start where you are. You don't have to be MLK tomorrow. You don't have to be, whatever you envision yourself to be, that you have to be in order to have that moniker by your name or that title. Just start tomorrow doing what you could do right where you are.
Right.
And this is an opportunity to open that door.
Yep.
Folks.
And it's in our hands right now. I mean, we said at the outset, Cornel West is going to be inspiring a lot of people to vote who have never voted before or who reluctantly vote. They're going to vote enthusiastically. And as Justin said, he's hopefully going to inspire people to run for office. I mean, look at the people on your county commission or your city council. You're as smart as they are, probably smarter in most cases, right? There's no reason you can't do it. Yes, it's a huge commitment. Yes, it's a lot of work, but get your friends together, get involved at whatever level you're comfortable with. As Tim was just saying, it's like, where are you now? What's the next step? Like I said about myself, a friend of mine just asked me, hey, will you help on our campaign? And I said, sure, because you're my friend. That works. The campaign specialists call that relational organizing, right? Talk to your friends and neighbors, but it doesn't need a tag. It's common sense. It's like, get together with some people and say, hey, our state senator's a loser. Why doesn't one of us challenge him? In almost half of the state legislature elections, thanks to gerrymandering, there's only one candidate. You're either going to have a Democrat in half the places or a Republican in half. You're not going to be a spoiler because the guy's going to just waltz to re-election. Run against him. Make it. When I first ran for office, I ran against a 16-year incumbent who had not knocked on a single door in 10 years because he knew he would win. Well, that year, he knocked on a lot of doors and he heard from his constituents. So even if you don't win, there's other measures that you're winning. You're making your representative talk to his constituents again, or you're bringing up the minimum wage or whatever issue you're passionate about and making that a media thing and people are going to read about it. There's so many ways to win an election, even if you don't end up getting the most votes, if you're smart about it. And that's what we need in this country. We need to revitalize the people and get them out there voting and running for office. So I encourage all of you to do that.
It's about making connections with other allies, right? It's not like you're going out there alone to collect signatures. You can talk to your friends, get a petition sheet and get 25, 50 people in your neighborhood that to sign the petition, right? And it's about making those connections in your community. And don't stop there. Talk about rent control and how you guys can fight it against fight for rent control in your neighborhood or living wage jobs in your city and town. So let this be a vehicle to reconnect you with your neighbors that you have a lot in common with. And it's about building that movement. That's part of why Cornel is doing this, right? This is that movement. This is how it's done, in my opinion.
Man, this is a watershed moment, guys. I mean, this is so important. I see folks lighting up. I see folks getting really excited. No one else is talking like Dr. Cornel West about these issues. No one. They're all afraid to. I mean, I got so much content to put out, guys. I've revamped. I want people to know I've revamped my channel to focus primarily on this race because I was about to walk away from politics. I really was. I was fed up with it. I mean, I feel like it was not going the way I wanted it to go, not what I envisioned. I felt like I wasn't as effective as I wanted to be, as I needed to be to make it make sense for me. But when Senator Nina Turner, when she lost her race, and that crushed me. I mean, it was crushing blow after crushing blow. Bernie, Nina, and these are people that I personally went and got involved. I didn't just do content. I went to Ohio, I met the family. I canvassed. I did all those things. I did rallies. Same thing with Jill, and it's tough. But when Dr. Cornel West joined this race, man, it like a pumped new fire, new life in me. It's like, well, you know what? these ideals, they go to sleep, but they never really go away. Because once you wake up, you can't go back to sleep. Once you know what's going on, you can't unknow what you know. Right? You can try to ignore it and try to sedate it and try to get away from it, but you know that there's gotta be someone out there. And look, guys, the best opportunity, it could be you. No one else is talking about Medicare for all, probably in your community. People are going to want to hear that. That's a message that's going to sell itself. No one's talking about reparations like that in your community. No one's talking about ending these wars. No one's talking about, free insulin. There is a grocery store full of issues you could talk about. Food deserts. I mean, who doesn't want? So there's so many issues that are local to you that people would be interested in hearing you talk about and find out more about. And I'm not saying everything can be done through electoral politics, but something's got to get done. It's a vehicle. It's helpful. There's other things you could do, but this is something that we can all be a part of, I believe. So I just want to inspire people. Inspire people like Dr. Cornel West has inspired me. And like these guys are inspiring me. Rick is an inspiration. Just what he was able to do in the last campaign, Justin, is an inspiration.
I got to say, when I think of political courage, before Cornel West ran, decided to put his hat in the ring, hands down, the most courageous political person I ever had really met or knew about was Jill Stein. For her to stick her neck out like that, running as a third party candidate, huge political courage or courage in general. And the things that Cornel is talking about and standing fast in all these interviews, again, with the Meet the Press interview, right? He is such a courageous person by doing this. And the least we can do is to support that, and honor that courage. Mm-hmm. And it's a powerful thing. And, it's a really a testament to Dr. West, and we got to be there for him with this, right? And again, it's just getting this word out. Oh, and by the way, Rick, we didn't talk about another really important state, and maybe we can circle back to that in these last few minutes. Talk about Arizona.
Yeah.
Right, Rick?
Yeah, Arizona was our biggest challenge, and we are halfway to surmounting it. 37,000 signatures we needed. We do need still, the deadline's November. Why you have a deadline a year before the election? Well, we've talked about why before, but we've already gathered 28,000 signatures. Our goal is to get 60, which is almost double the requirement because they'll be kicking them out. But in just maybe 8 weeks, maybe only 6 weeks, we have just cranked it up. And if you're in Arizona, we're having volunteer trainings twice a week for the next month, and we need you to get out there. I know it's 110 degrees in Phoenix, but we need to get out there. And yeah, it's going to be one of our big success stories and an early victory. And then we'll have New York, Georgia, and Illinois after that to do pretty much the same thing. But we're rocking it in Arizona. It's a great sign of the people power. Some of the people that were on our last meeting haven't been involved for 10 years, and they came back because Cornel's going to be the candidate. And other people who were there, it was their first time. They were Bernie Kratz, or they were, I can't remember the word I'm thinking of, that they just weren't involved at all. So we have a lot of really positive energy down in Arizona right now.
I'm going to be spending my vacation in Arizona in a couple weeks.
Wow.
To help out with that. And I'm going to love it. It's going to be traveling around the state. It's going to be great. Around Labor Day.
Yeah, I wish I could be in Mississippi this weekend. That's where me and the wife planned to be, but we're just kind of late knowing about it, man. I was late knowing about it and just could not get the coordination because we got school starting Monday for the kids and stuff. But wow. What's the other state? Delaware, I think you guys were talking about Delaware?
Delaware's the state where all we need you to do is register in the Green Party. And if we can get another 100 or so people to do it, we're on the ballot without having to petition. So
you'll get that. That's Joe Biden's state. We'll get that easy.
Yeah. So
and you can register online.
Yeah, whatever state you're in, go to the map we showed earlier. It's cornelwest4.us and click on the state you're in, and it has up-to-date information of what we need to do to get on the ballot in your state, or if we're already on the ballot, what you can do to help in any way. So please get involved with this. It's going to be a historic campaign, and I hope you'll be part of it.
Wow. Well, folks, can we just to wrap things up, let's just remind everybody, ballot access, the process briefly, like the steps. I think we had a list here. Ballot access, the petition, the signatures. If you could just kind of go back over real quick, Rick, to just tell people what's the first step, or so they walk away, they have like an action item.
The first step is sign a petition in the state that you live in, which Tim's going to try to do this weekend in Maryland. And go to our website and click on your state and find out what you need to do. There's contact information or website information for every state up there. More importantly, organize. You and 2 friends can do a lot in just a few hours. And just get in touch with your state coordinator. And if there isn't one, become one. But really the main step is get these petitions. The ones that we're circulating are already online. You can download it, print it out, and start circulating. If you're not a people person, then donate some money so that we can hire some people. But the main thing is just we need to get these petition signatures in all the states and get them validated so that we can be on the ballot, so every American has a chance to vote for Cornel West this year.
That's right. That's it. That sounds great. I'm definitely going to do that. I challenge everybody to do it with me. How about that? Yeah, I'm late, but okay, you do it with me, and then we'll both be on time together. This is it. This is it, folks. I'm pumped up. I hope you guys are pumped up. I hope that you look at this as a challenge, but also something that we can meet the challenge, right? We can do this. And it's unfair that Democrats and Republicans don't have to do this, because I don't think it'll be that easy for them to get these people to come out and do anything for Trump or for Biden, for that matter. Like, I don't see it, especially Biden. I don't see any energy around Biden. The whole Trump is scary thing, I think it kind of wore off. Like, I don't know the expiration date on that type of fear. You know, I don't think it's going to last long enough to get people out for him. But, you know, it's unfair that the Green Party and any other independents have to go out and go through this process. But, you know, life ain't fair, Johnson. It ain't fair. So I encourage everybody. I'm going to put the links in the description box below with all the information provided by my friends, Rick and Justin. And, yeah. Anything I leave out? Anything that I left out, guys?
One other thing I thought about, Tim, you know, on top of, you know, doing the signatures and things like that, signing a petition, helping circulate a petition, also in those states, you know, where you can register as a Green, you do so, right? Because that'll help get Cornel on the ballot. I mean, another thing with that is the Democrats don't want you to register as Greens, right? That takes away from their power. Man, you want to stick it to the Democrats and the Republicans, register as a Green. And the other part with that is Cornel West doesn't have the nomination for the Green Party just yet. He's very likely to have it because he's very popular with many of us in the Green Party, right? The rank and file Greens, we're mostly backing. There's 1 or 2 other candidates. It should be a good primary process. I'm looking forward to hearing from one of the other candidates, but really Cornel has a huge lead there. But if you want to be involved at the next level, and actually like there was somebody from Texas recently saying, oh, I'm an independent. You don't really, they have open primaries here in Texas, but in the Green Party in Texas has a little bit of different nomination process. And best thing to do is to reach out to the Green Party in your state and figure out, how can I cast a vote for Cornel in the primaries? Or sometimes they have conventions, nominating conventions, and they select delegates. You could be a delegate for Cornel West. Right?
Gotcha.
Cornel Sanders. So anyways, I mean, you could be a delegate for Cornel West at the presidential nominating convention in 2024. I'll tell you what, it was an interesting thing being a delegate for Bernie Sanders in 2016. It was kind of a downer, but it could be a really exciting moment in 2024 when we give the nomination to Cornel West. So you can be a part of that. So register as a Green in your state if you got a state party, or at least get in touch with folks that are in the Green Party in your state. If there isn't a Green Party there, that's another story. But if you can get involved at that level too, you're not necessarily have to be an organizer. You're just getting involved in meetings so you can vote on issues that come up in the party, so you can have a direction of where the Green Party is going in your state. And then you could also, again, help Cornel get that nomination that he deserves. Talk about deserving things. He really does. I mean, he's going to be the candidate that really does it for us, we the people, in 2024. So yeah, on top of ballot action, there's that thing too.
Yes. Rick, when's the next benchmark as far as date that's really significant, so that we can kind of plan to come back again and do this over?
It depends what state you're in.
Okay.
But no, I would say by the end of September, we're going to start turning some of those.
So like once a month makes sense to we say every month we get together, we come back, we do a show, we bring people up to speed, we get new people involved. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we're probably by the end of September going to turn in petitions in at least 4 states.
Gotcha.
So we can do an update then, and that's when some other states are going to start to be available. So once a month would be great.
Reconnecting in October?
Hey, it's on you guys. It's whatever's best for the campaign. Like, get what I'm saying? This is all I do, man. I don't do something else, so I'm at your disposal for this project, this process.
We'll get in touch. We'll send you some notes, and we'll go from there.
I appreciate that, man. And my audience appreciates it too. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Justin and Rick again. Once again, Green Party, we're in this together. Let's do it. People power, people over profit, people over politics. There you go. Let's make it happen. And remember, it's a new day. Hashtag it's a new day. CornelWest24.org is where you go. And remember, all the links in the description will be in the description box below that they've given me to give you guys the map, where to go look up stuff, all this to find out what's going on in your state, more information about the Green Party. All that stuff is going to be down below. I got nothing but love for you. Be a part of the change. It ain't going to happen unless we make it happen. And there's no revolution without action. So that's it, guys. Thank you once again. I'll see you soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You got it, guys. I just got to find out how to cut this thing off. Hold on. Hold tight. I got like 5 windows open. Don't say nothing crazy. You're still live. Oh, here we go.
We love you, Tim. Thanks for having us again.
That's it, man. They minimized for some reason. What the hell? Why is this minimized? Okay. Oh, here we go. End. All right, guys. We gone for real this time. Peace.